ladies and gentlemen, to SF1 Tier 1 for Round 6 held at the Canadian Grand Prix. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, 14 corners. I haven't done my homework here, so I don't remember how many laps that are. But right now in short qualifying, I'm a little late to start the stream. I do apologize. Had a little bit of technical difficulties and I was a little late getting home. But we are now live here for Round 6. Let's see what kind of drivers or what kind of times these guys can get on the board. I'm a little behind, so if you guys I do apologize. I'm just jumping out. It's literally ran to us. But right now, Harrison in that Mercedes, quickest on the board with a 109.3. We have Smith in 109.5. Eke sitting at a 109.52. A couple guys trying to stay out of the way of the McLarens on the track now. How's everybody doing? Have you guys enjoyed your weekend? Did you watch the actual Turkish Grand Prix today? It's kind of a snooze fest. I turned it on, saw I didn't really miss much at the beginning. Kind of kept my eye on it throughout the race, but yeah, it was kind of a boring race to be honest. But let's jump down. Sweat Palm, brand new Alfa Romeo driver. Want to point that out. Good luck to him this evening. Starting in that Alfa Romeo for that Ross Palm's team. See if he can have any kind of luck this evening. Take a look now. We gonna get a nice run on this track with who's on an out lap. Tomo makes his return after having a week off last weekend, dropping out of the championship lead from taking off. So let's see if he can get his tires warmed up, get a good lap in, see if he can't contest against that champion lead. We'll give you guys a run of the points once we get qualifying out of the way. Typically, this track, it is kind of a strange track. It is a track, but it's built around the park, so they do consider it almost a street circuit. But we're going to jump on board with Tomo so you guys can get a lap around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Coming up the start-finish line now. First left and then a right-hander. He goes really hard into that first corner. Put the grip down. You don't want to spin like Valtteri Bottas. Coming up to your second right. Put those apexes as hard as you can. Careful not to extend because you can invalidate your lap. Car can get out of shape here. You want to make sure you get just a little bit of that corner. Second DRS zone. He's going to get a split a little bit by one of the Mercedes. It's Harrison. Coming up to the fast S section. First right, then a left. And then coming up to the hairpin. A lot of guys have been caught outbraking themselves this weekend here into this hairpin, especially on lap 1. As you can tell, Tomo locks the tires up just a bit. And then coming up to the third DRS zone. The long backstretch, a lot of overtakes will be happening this time around on this part of the track during the race. Tomo coming up now into the wall of champions. Keeps it clean. DRS open for him. What kind of time is he going to put on the board? We're going to find out. Delta stays live. 109.7 for Tomo's first lap out. Jump down through the rest of the field. See what we have. A couple guys get to set a lap. Cressy's going to put a lap in now. Had a lot of pace in Monaco. And pretty much about the same pace in Baku. But Baku was an interesting race if you guys caught it. A lot of these drivers struggled. That led into a lot of DNFs. And it wasn't really by contact. It was by driver error itself. See what kind of time Cressy, the Williams driver, can get on the board. Minutes left in qualifying. Sector 1 yellow. Looks like for a Red Bull just moving out of the way for a Ferrari. Cressy on the backstretch now. Just 2 corners to go. Actually, what I feel is the 2 most difficult corners in this track. You can attack them, and if you attack them just right, you'll get so much time out of your lap. So Harrison goes a 108.7 to put his foot down even more. Cressy crosses the line, good enough for P3 currently with a 109.3. Seal is the next closest guy to Harrison with a 109.2. Can any of these drivers get any closer? Everybody's on a soft compound, so I wonder if that means we're going to have a little bit of rain in the race. I didn't see. Nobody gave me a good indication But yeah, a little fun fact about this track. First race was held here in 1978. And then the late, great Gilles, actually, I believe, won that race. And after his unfortunate passing at a young age from that Ferrari team incident at the Belgian Grand Prix, they renamed the circuit after him, just to give him an honor. Keep an eye on some of these guys. Zero back after off last week, puts himself P6 currently. Eke still sitting 7th. What have these guys done their tires on best? Nobody's done a lap on the medium compound, so it's all soft compound. I wonder if they're all gonna go for a 2-stop this evening. Oh, Seal, let me know in the chat. Thank you, Seal. I'm just paying attention to that wet race. Finally. Ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna see some interesting, spicy stuff happen for this wet race. I'm sure Stig is super happy too. But we'll jump with Eke, see if he can't improve on his 109.5 and put him further up the board. Riding in that Alpine. Stig, finally a wet race. Yep, I was just mentioning that, Stig. I had a feeling you'd be super happy. But yeah, one talking point too I want to make once we dive into these points. The guy that is sitting in second right now, right behind his teammate, not able to make the race this evening. SF1 Rainer is not here. Red Bulls, baby, says Croce. After Croce had one heck of a race in Tier 3 on Thursday. Eke coming through the wall of champions now. Can he improve on the 109.5? DRS is open. Goes P2 with a 109 flat. Still 3/10 off of Harrison's best time. Lord Dumbledore sitting P9. Getting the best of his teammate so far in this session. I'm sure that's going to make him feel a little proud. I know he was questioning himself when he came into Tier 1 this beginning of the season. Can that confidence shift, and can he get a good solid lap in to best his Red Bull teammate? Croce will never let him live it down. Let's see the new driver for Alfa Romeo, Sweat Palm, who's coming down the back stretch now. His first lap to get a time on the board. What kind of time can he put in on that Alfa in the Canadian Grand Prix? Coming down the line now, DRS is open. Looks like it's going to be around a 111, 112, 112.2. Goes a little bit, oh, okay, goes a lot quicker. Hellboy, I think, backed out of his lap. His time lap, that is, so yeah. Okay, Eke was pulling the pits. You have to get used to that camera angle. I thought he was going to career right into a wall. But there, I called myself out. I was wrong. Can Tomo get himself closer to the top guy? The guy he is chasing in the title right now. Can Eke get himself a pole position here? Keep an eye on the rest of the guys running down the order. If I'm not mistaken. And don't quote me this, but I do believe that tomorrow marks the Canadian Thanksgiving. And if that's correct, happy Thanksgiving to our neighbors up north. Well, for me up north, for a lot of these guys and gentlemen over in England, to the far left of them. Keep an eye on Stig, see if he can improve. On 110.2, he must be running a lot of downforce with that rain coming in. He does have an invalidated lap here, so he's going to have to give it another go. Jamie in that McLaren. His teammate a little bit better on time right now with a 109.7, sitting 10th. We'll see if anybody comes out. We have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Hey, cheers to all the guys tuning in. I appreciate it. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you stick around. We're going to have a wet race. That's always the best. See what these guys can do in the wet race. Yeah, we are just 2 minutes and 20 seconds away from finding out who's going to get pole position here Keep an eye on some of the other guys downfield. Lord Dumbledore giving it another go on that Red Bull. I wonder if I saw that cheeky livery that Codemasters kind of put up. I wonder if they're going to release that, and we'll see a bunch of white Red Bulls during the season. I have a feeling, I wonder if the Red Bull team's talking about that. I'll have to talk to them afterwards. See if they're going to change their livery for the rest of the season away from this blue. Dumbledore is going to pull into the pits and abandon that lap, or that might have been his cooldown lap. Here we are, a minute and 40 seconds remain. A lot of guys on an out lap. Who is going to cross the line first? I have no idea where anybody's at, actually. McLaren starts his lap now, so Matt's will stay on board with him. See who can improve on their time, and see if anybody can challenge Harrison for P1. Oh no, and there goes one of the McLarens. You can see him in the corner there. He's retired from qualifying, so he's going to start P14 if Sweat Palm can't improve. See what Mats can do here. A lot of guys still kind of behind. I believe Harrison's gonna cross the line now as Hellboy crashed out. I think he's retired from the pits, actually. Lord Dumbledore has retired from P9. Can IRL Mats beat Lord Dumbledore's time to get himself further up the grid? He's gonna cross the line with a 109.6. Good enough for P10, but still not good enough to take P9 from Lord Dumbledore. Who's going to cross the line now? That is going to be a Haas of Tomo. I believe that was Haas of Tomo. Seal has retired from the session. Jump with, I think it's Eke. No, it's not Eke. That was Elise who crossed the line. Who is that next? It is Cressy, I believe. Jump down through. Yes, Cressy. Is he going to improve? Crosses the line and goes P5. Jump with this man. Can he get pole position off of his rival right now? No, he invalidates. And there's a Red Bull that's crashed out. I think that's Stig. Stig's crashed out. Ferrari. Let's jump to 0. See if he can't get himself improved on his time. Stays P8. We have McLaren. That is Matt's coming down. DRS is wide open, so he's definitely looking to improve on this lap. Hunica, what is going on? Good to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your time. As you see Matt's tag the wall there at Wall of Champions. Is that going to catch anybody out? He does go quicker than Lord Dumbledore. Smith goes quicker than Eke, so he grabs P2. Harrison abandons the lap, pulls into the pits, but it looks like it's going to be pole position from the Mercedes driver again this week after getting pole position in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in round 5 last week. That is going to do it for qualifying. Give you a shakedown, and then we'll give you a look at the points before we hit a wet Canadian Grand Prix for these guys. Keep an eye, Elise. You're just waiting for one of the drivers to retire from the car, and we're good to go. And there it happens. Yeah, Hunica, wet race. So we're going to give you guys a rundown of qualifying here for the Canadian Grand Prix. Round 6 here at SF1. Harrison grabs pole position. We have Smith in 2nd. Eke 3rd. Seal is 4th. We have Cressy 5th. Amadale 6th. Tomo 7th. 08. We have Mats in 9th. Lord Dumbledore is 10th. Elise 11th. Hellboy 12th. We have Stig 13th. Jamie is 14th, and I believe that's going to leave Sweat Palm at 15th. We'll give you guys a look. I'm not that. Jump over here and do it that way. Yeah, Sweat Palm is 15th in that Alfa Romeo. Actually, the only Alfa Romeo here this evening as well. So these guys will have a 5-minute complimentary break if you're new to the channel. That way they can get up, stretch, and get ready, and get their brain mentally prepared for the race. And at that time, I'm going to run over the points and then rest my voice for a crazy race that I'm sure this is going to be. So now that we're in the paddock, we're going to give you guys a look at the points. Oh, look at the rain. First, I want to see something, guys. Is it full wets? It is full wets. This is going to be a great, great race. I'm glad I'm here to watch this. All right, but we're going to give you guys a look at the points so far. Coming up to round 6, we're going to give you a look at the combined first. We have Red Bull still leading the way. We have Mercedes bumping up to P2. Williams jumping up as well to 3rd. We have Aston Martin in 4th. Ferrari slipped to 5th. We have AlphaTauri in 6th. Haas is 7th. McLaren sitting 8th. Alfa Romeo in 9th. And Alpine still struggling a little bit here early in the season. Can they get their points on the board? Try to take the fight to the other teams. We are going to find out. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at the driver points. Harrison holding on to the lead. Takes the lead, actually, I believe. So holding on to P1 in the championship. His teammate, who is not here this evening, Rayner, is in 2nd. Tomo slips to 3rd without being able to race last week. Stig in 4th. Smith 5th. We have Zero slipping to 6th. He wasn't here last week as well. Seal 7th. Eke is 8th. We have Elise in 9th. Amundale is 10th. Hellboy 11th. Got a lisp, not here this evening, 12th. We have Cressy Football in 13th. Jamie 14th. Matt's his teammate right behind him in 15th. Enzo, still not here this evening, is 16th. K16, also not here this evening, 17th. Lord Bumbledore could make a big jump up the table this week if he can score some solid points for that Red Bull and get himself further up on that championship. Welder is 19th, and we have Sweat Palm, the brand new Alfa Romeo driver, starting his career this evening. What kind of race can he have? Starting last in the grid, so it might be a good thing. He can kind of take it easy in the first couple corners and pick up any point or any positions off of somebody's mistake or somebody's collision with another. But I'm going to rest my voice. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We should be going racing probably right on the hour mark, if not even sooner. But stay with us. SF1 Roads. We'll be right back with you guys. Well, the Canadian Grand Prix is about ready to start, so let's get ready. Gear yourselves up, grab a bag of popcorn if you need to, because it's going to get interesting with this amount of rain. I haven't seen a full wet race yet from any of these tiers, so tonight is going to be the first full wet race, and I'm glad that it's tier 1. These guys are going to have quite a test on their hand. Going to get rid of those points so we can get a full screen of what's going to happen here. Waiting for the light to drop so we can start the formation lap. Let's get some of this stuff off, actually away from the time being. Yeah, that is a super, Super enjoyable time this is gonna be, watching these guys. Running down the order. Well, we already have Haas going really wide. I think it's just testing the limits of those wet compounds, trying to get the temperature in them. Let's look at the conditions. I want to see somebody that's following relatively closely. Let's look at Stig. Yeah. I think we're going to see some action tonight, guys. I think it's going to be interesting. You can see Stig going really wide. Really trying to get the temperature in those wet tires. Full wet tires, too. The blue compound. As Tomo was disqualified from the session. I think he might have made contact with Amandale or the other way around. So that is not going to help those two at all. They're going to start on super cold, wet tires for the race. It's going to take a couple laps to get temperature into those things. I wonder if the rain will subside at all at some point. We're going to find out. Probably one of the longest formation laps I've seen. A lot of guys taking their time putting temperature. Let's see if anybody has outdone themselves. Can somebody get a jump on Harrison to grab lead into turn one? We are going to find out. Can that Williams get himself closer? Looks like Sweat Bomb's around the corner. I don't know why it's stuck on that person, but all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for it. The Canadian Grand Prix is about to start, waiting for those 5 red lights to go. Any moment now. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 red lights are lit, and we are lights out. We're racing here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Can Harrison get a good start? Looks like a lot of guys struggling off the start. A lot of guys. There's 3 wide at that point. Oh! The Alpine Eke looks for a run. Harrison goes off. Oh, there's... Oh, goodness. 3 wide going through exit. Turn 2, McLaren gets a little spitty. Let's take a look at some of the action going on board with the Red Bull. Coming into... Oh, these guys are really struggling. You see the McLaren almost tags the wall. Oh, what has happened there? Oh, the McLaren did tag the wall. A snap of oversteer. And he's just riding off of his teammate. We have a Haas that has spun. I believe that's Tomo. So Tomo already behind on the back foot in this race. Wow, it is kicking off. Hubs in the chat using points. Appreciate it. Rooting on Red Bull. Both Red Bull right now running side by side together. Keep an eye on some of the guys ahead. Sweat Bomb moves through. I think that is Hellboy. There's Tomo trying to come back. As Eke did grab the lead of this race. So you have Harrison right behind. Oh, there's going side by side as well. You know, it's funny, in the rearview mirror, I can't see any rainfall. When you look forward, you can. Jump through. It looks like Eke is going to be the man that leads the first lap of this race. Or it could be at least, I'm not sure. We're going to find out. Delta's back up. It is actually Eke in the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. Let's look. We don't need that. We actually don't need the tires because we all know they're on full wet compounds. But I definitely want to keep the interval between these guys up. No DRS is going to be available for these guys if the rain continues through the race. So these guys are going to have to use nothing but their skill in driving as well as the battery. That is the only thing that's going to help them here. So it could be a really difficult race to overtake. IRL Matt's in the pits after collecting the wall and getting damaged. So he's going to be a little down the order. What happened to Cressy? Something has happened to Cressy. Jumped down with Hellboy. Cressy lost control of his Williams. I think Hellboy's struggling just a bit as well. So Sweat Palm staying clean has already found himself up to P12. A good start to the race. 14 viewers. What is going on, guys? Welcome to Tier 1. Full wet race here. 35 laps. Lap 2 already. As Eke is putting the pace down. Already a second ahead of Harrison in P2. Amandale's chasing Smith. Can Amandale get himself a podium this evening? Amandale found himself with a solid race in Azerbaijan last week. Keep an eye on him. Zero is chasing down Seal as Harrison sets the fastest lap so far in this race. Only lap 2. That's going to change probably, especially if it dries out. Amandale and Smith really battling for that P3, the final spot on the podium. Unica anyway says that the penalty flag is retired. Oh, yeah. You can see how slow these guys are going through the corner. Oh, hey, Amandale had a bit of oversteer. Caught the car just in time, but he's going to put him down the order. He was fighting for P3. Now he's found himself into P7. What has happened now? Somebody else have a problem. Was it Sweat Palm? Sweat Palm is having issues here. Car really wants to snap. Croce, go AK, taking points off the Mercs. Love to see it. Amandale and Stig now. These two battled quite a bit last season. Zero right ahead. Let's jump on board with them. See the battle between these two behind them. Who is going to be brave enough to hold that line? It looks like Stig's going to back out. Mats is retired from the session. Will that be any type of virtual safety car? It's going to be a virtual safety car. So let's see. Let's make sure Eke on the payroll. Amandale gets a 5-second severe collision with Stig. Stig, I think he's going to get one as well. What has happened there? Mats has left the session. Unfortunate for the driver this evening. So now Amandale and Stig find themselves in a predicament. A 5-second stop go. For a collision under a virtual... And we have a full safety car, I just noticed. I wonder why they jumped to a full safety car. Okay, on the payroll. That's still funny. Alright. So any of these guys gonna box? I don't think so. Unless they have some type of damage on the car. The Sweat Palm does pull into the pits. He's on his way out now. And there is Cressy. Cressy is just behind too. I wonder if he did decide to pit. See if the front runners decide to pit. I don't think they will though. They might. They might. Doesn't look like any of them are going to pull into the pits. If I were Amandale, I would pull in. Yeah, Stig, get rid of that 5-second as long as you can. Just serve it now and then start from the back. And that's exactly what both of them are going to do. Put on a fresh set, have another go. Wing change. Did Amandale get a fresh wing? I'm not sure. I wonder if they did have some kind of contact. Both of them are on their way out. Jamie is crossing. So Amandale is going to get out ahead of Jamie. Is Stig going to get out ahead of Jamie? No, there's Stig now. So, jumping up with the guy who is right behind the safety car. I wonder how difficult it is going to be for these guys to get the temperature back in these tires. They're not worn too much, so they shouldn't have that much of a problem. And is that rain starting to dissipate just a bit? Could we see intermediates at some point? There's still a lot of puddles on the track itself. waiting on the guys behind to pull up to the grid, the back of this pack, and then that safety car will pull back in. Where are these guys now, actually? Take a look. Oh, a lot of guys are going for the pits. Let's get the tire delta up and see if they're changing. Oh, we do have our first sets of intermediates coming on. Hellboy, Amandale, and Jamie, as well as Stig, pull the trigger for an intermediate to give it a go. This could get interesting. Let's see if Sweat Palm does the same. He's coming into the pits. Intermediate set is going to go on to that Alfa Romeo. So I think that's going to help the leaders now box for an intermediate set. But, I mean, Hellboy's only 10 seconds away from him. So these guys who've chosen to jump on the intermediates, in case anybody ahead of them does, these guys just lucked out big time and made a huge strategy call. We will see. Keep an eye on the guys ahead. Will Eke dive for the pits for intermediates? He is going to. A lot of these guys are. A lot of them are into the pits. I think all but... Yeah, look at Hellboy. He's made a strategy call for the ages. So has Amandale and Jamie. And Stig, for that matter. Where's Sweat Palm in this? Oh, he's a little bit down the field, so he's not going to be able to benefit from this as much as the other guys. Lord Bumbledore has decided to stay out on those wet compounds. I wonder, okay, yeah, Hubsy Spicy. So this is what I'm thinking now. Is this rain gonna pick up again eventually? Is that why maybe Cressy and Lord Bumbledore are taking the gamble that maybe the rain is gonna pick up after a couple laps time and we'll be right back on to the full wet compound as opposed to the intermediates? We're gonna find out. I'm sure we're gonna find out, but for the time being, I think Lord Bumbledore is really gonna struggle on those full wets. Hellboy, Amandale, and Jamie, and Stig. You know, massive, massive strategy call that has put them so far up the pack. We'll see what Lord Bumbledore does here, if he's going to dive for the pits. Safety car is in this time around, ladies and gentlemen, so... it's going to get interesting. What can Lord Bumbledore do in those full wets compared to Hellboy that's right behind him in that Ferrari on intermediates? He's going to back the pack up. Rightfully so. He has the right to set the pace for the restart here. Just has to wait for the safety car to pull into the pit lane. Lord Bumbledore is bouncing back and forth just a bit. So we're going to stay with Hellboy and see what happens. He's cruising like a Kimmy right now. When is Lord Bumbledore gonna set? He's gonna go now. Jump on board with Amandale. Amandale is gonna get close side by side into turn one. Restarting here. How about Bumbledore? He's doing pretty well. Here comes Jamie fighting in that McLaren. Don't go 3 wide into this turn, guys. No 3 wide into turn 3. Oh, there's contact. Jamie does an amazing job holding onto that car. I had no idea how he didn't spin there. There is Stig fighting along with the Alpine. Contact made. Easy on the contact on the side of the car because side pod damage does exist in this game. Keep an eye on Lord Bumbledore. I know I want to find that fighting, guys. Williams. There's Sweat Palm. Jumping up the field like crazy, I'm sorry. I want to see Bumbledore is still leading this race. Alright, let me get the delta up so I can tell where I'm at. Hellboy still sector 3 yellow. What has happened to Eke? There was a collision at some point. Or was it Sweat Palm? I have no idea, but look at the pack going in through this. Oh boy. Close your eyes, Paps, if you're watching. Close them now. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Loads of contact made. Sweat Palm and Elise. Oh, that's not what you want to see. That was an interesting thing for sure. We're gonna have safety one. And Stig has found himself in contact as well. Boy, and there goes Bubbledore. Oh boy. It is kicking off now. So Lord Bumbledore loses control of that Red Bull in the full wets. So Hellboy takes over the lead of this race, and that Ferrari does have Almondale right behind him. Jamie is right there. Harrison has found himself back up to P4. Eke is P5. This guy's still fighting ahead. Smith, this is getting interesting. Seal is following. At least gets a 3-second time penalty, our first of the day. Cressy football going into the corner. Seal gets another 3-second for an exit. How's Stig doing? I believe Stig is harboring some damage on that front wing. No, he's not. Is he thinking about a move on that AlphaTauri? No, he backs out of it. Can he go on the outside? He's now kind of in an AlphaTauri sandwich here. Cressy is really looking aggressive right behind. Seal opens up the gap. Is Cressy gonna think about it? No, he backs out of it. Oh! Let's jump on board with Dylan Smith, who's riding with Tomo and Zero, fighting each other like crazy. Here, coming into Sector 3 of this track, or the circuit, Tomo's trying to get around that Ferrari. Tomo gonna think about going for an inside move. Zero's gonna have the better line on the exit. Zero holds on to position. Tomo's gonna slot right behind him. Wall of Champions now. Oh, you can see Tomo really locked up those two front tires. Harrison is putting faster lap after faster lap in. Jump back on forward. Hellboy leading this race. 5/10 is the gap between himself and Amondale. Harrison is 2.2 down the road. Sweat Palm gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So, back into it. 2.4 now separates Harrison from Amondale. Amondale really putting the pressure on Hellboy just ahead. Is he going to think about an inside move? No, not yet. Job well done. I know Senna's not watching this because he's a little busy on Sundays, but he would probably be wanting to watch this if he has already crashed out from his race. No bad luck intended, but his team is leading this Grand Prix. Amondale thinking about a move. He's gonna think, no, he thinks better of it. Patience is a virtue. Amondale does get a 3-second time penalty though. You get a better run out of that Wall Champions exit. As you see, Harrison now getting closer and closer to these two. Stig gets himself a time penalty. Zero gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So I'm watching on board with these guys fighting for the lead. Where's Harrison in this order? You saw Amondale get a huge snap of oversteer. Lost the back end of those rears. Those two are really going after it as Harrison's trying his best to put his throttle down and get closer to these guys. Jamie's just about the same distance behind. Are we going to have a move for Hellboy and Amandale? The rain has looked like it's eased up. No more full wet puddles are on this track, so intermediates were the right call. Amadale's going to think about it. No, he's going to hold right behind. He got a better run out of the exit, though. Amadale's going to think about a move here, going for the lead of this race. Does he take it? He does. Going into turn 1. Does Hellboy fight back? No, he's going to hold just there. Harrison has caught these two now from the battling. We're going to leave these guys for a second and jump with another close battle going on. Stig, these guys getting really spicy here in the mid-pack. Stig gets another 3-second time penalty. Anybody going to be brave enough to go for a move? This guy is all what? 5 of these guys are battling for P7 on the grid. Whoa! Oversteer from the AlphaTauri. Saw Seal catch the car. Some of the catches these guys are making this evening, top notch. You didn't get to see much of that in the Azerbaijan. A lot of guys collecting penalties now too. I will say one thing. I saw the Tier 2 race on Friday, and I think every driver on the board had a time penalty of some sort. So this track, it can really punish you when it comes to extending your line. So, an interesting fact, ladies and gentlemen. The rain has stopped. I have just noticed the rain has completely stopped. So, how long are we away from complete dry compounds? And will it rain again at some point in this race? The clouds aren't gone, but it is definitely not raining anymore, and you can see these guys kind of struggling. So, question is, who's going to pull the trigger and put on a soft compound? Is it going to be Elise? Let's keep an eye out on Elise and see what he does here. Guys, he's going full softs. And a new front wing. I think he might have decreased the downforce to see if it's going to help him when that Williams just rocket ship through the field. He's going to find himself down the order. Eke and Tamo really going after it as well. Taking a look at Amandale. Is he going to pull into the pits? Is the track ready yet? No, he's going to stay out as long as he can. And he gets a real big shot up towards the wall. This looks like turkey today. Bit early, but okay. Stig and Cressy. Oh, that was a squeeze in the wall, champions. Seal's going to have a look on Cressy now. Keep a look at least see what his time does compared to Sweat Bomb. Oh, what a dive from that Williams, trying to take the inside line. Cressy. Oh, yeah, that's the line. It didn't help him in the long run. Lap 15 out of 35. These laps are ticking down. Wow. Oh, yeah, okay. You can hear how much Cressy has to lean off the throttle. The track is drying relatively quickly. Seal gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I can't see any wear on their tires though. They have a yellow sector 1, keeping an eye out. I think that's Sweat Palm. Sweat Palm has found himself into the wall with no front wing. Oh my gosh. At least you got lucky there. Sweat Palm doing donuts in the grass. Maybe a tad bit early. Let's jump on board with Seal, or at least see how he's getting on with these dry compounds. Safety car, ladies and gentlemen. So, if it wasn't in time, it's time now. That's going to help Amandale, Hellboy, Harrison, Jamie, all these guys. Jamie actually dove for the mediums. They're already in the pits. Sweat Palm gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Whew, I'm trying to keep up with it. This one's kicking it. As Amandale just, I don't know if that was Amandale or who that was. It's completely missed the chicane and just drove forward. Drive through for speeding under the safety car. Smith, Cressy gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Those penalties are starting to come in heavy. Is Jamie going to take the lead of this race? I think he has to follow the Delta. These guys behind the safety car, no, they're not, so didn't pay off this time. Or has it? Because there's Jamie now. Are these guys out? Oh, is Jamie gonna take the lead of this race? Amandale's out now. I thought Jamie was gonna take the lead of this race. Would have said McLaren is leading the race. So now we have an Aston Martin, we have a Ferrari, a McLaren, a Mercedes, a Alpine, a Haas, all in the top 6. That is going to be big for the combined constructors for sure. A lot of these guys fighting for points for the team. At least gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Look at that. 2 Aston Martins are leading this race. So we're just waiting for the safety car to pull in. Get that Delta back up. Everybody is now put on a new compound, a dry compound. A lot of mediums so far, so they're looking to try to take those to the end, which I believe they can at this point. If they've gone to soft, I would have guessed that the weather was going to change, but I think it's going to be dry for the rest of the race. But the Williams driver has gone for the soft compound. Tag right back on with these guys. South Delta, a lot of guys getting time penalties when I have this Delta information off. Let's take a look at penalties, shall we? So a lot of 3 seconds. We have a 9-second for Stig, 6 on Cressy. Smith has a drive-through. Seal and Elise have 9 seconds, and Sweat Palm has 6 seconds. So is that going to shape anything towards the end of this race? A lot of guys making pit stops, 3 pit stops. Will there be any more from those guys during this race? Who has made the biggest gains? Jamie is up 11 positions. We have Hellboy up 10. Amandale making great strategy calls is up. Is that rain? Interesting. Not yet. It was just a weird camera thing. But Amandale's made up 5. We have Stig up 5. Zero's up 1. Tomo is up a position as well as Sweat Palm. Biggest losers unfortunately tied with each other is both the AlphaTauris. 1 second. Sorry, my daughter is trying to play with my power cord, so I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, she doesn't play with that anymore. Waiting for the safety car to come in. So a lot has kicked off. I was sitting here watching. A couple guys making contact with each other, leading in penalties. A couple guys extending track during a safety car position, but safety car is going to be back in. Seal gets 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flags. I'm not quite sure when that happened. Yes, that's my daughter's toy. She's having a heck of a time right behind me. Alright, a moment in which she's not playing with her music box. I'm gonna do some commentary. These guys restart the race, all fighting, but staying single fire for the most part. Eke finds himself right behind Harrison, just ahead. Can Tomo get a run on that Alpine? Anybody jostling for position so far? I don't see so. Everybody's kind of keeping it. As Eke gets really loose in the rear end, that's gonna open the door for that has to come through. You think Tomo's gonna make a move for it, or is he gonna hold just behind? Oh, there's a bit of a bump there. Tomo trying to get the shoulders out. Eke is going to follow right behind that Mercedes. They pick up the toe. Nobody else really fighting for positions here. Amadale pulls the gap now. Could this be Amadale's evening? Oh, and the McLaren. I thought he was going to DNF. That looked like a steep incline right into the wall of champions, but he saved the car. As you see, Harrison get a little snap out of oversteer. Eke, is he gonna have a run here? Get the Delta back up for you guys. Sweat Bomb is retired from the race. Amadale gets himself another time penalty. Tomo's gonna think about making a move. No, he backed out of it. So the guys, yeah, Eke, Harrison, and Hellboy looking pretty clean right now on the board. I wonder what happened to Sweat Bomb. Take a look down through. Everybody's still riding in single position. Single file. Wait for that DRS to enact. Smith gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Lap 21 out of 35. It is quite a long race at the Canadian Grand Prix. A lot of different things have happened this evening. We've seen a full wet race. We've seen intermediates, we've seen a dry session, and we're about to see DRS be open. There you have it. That's really going to open up the fighting going on here. Lord Bumbledore, a lot of fast laps coming in now. First dry laps of this race. Can Amadale get himself out of that DRS range from Hellboy just behind in that Ferrari? Hellboy looking really quick this evening. Jamie's right there as well. Eke is still right there. He does have Tomo right behind. He's going to have DRS. DRS open now. The tow begins, ladies and gentlemen. Is anybody going to make a move? One second. giant back. She was getting into something she shouldn't have. But here we have Jamie. Not too many people have changed positions. They're still stuck in that DRS toe, so doesn't look like I missed too much. Penalties look about the same. We have Bumbledore and Seal going after it with each other. How long is Elise's soft compounds gonna last? Can he take those 12 laps? Take a look at the guys in the lead. Most of them are gonna be stuck in a DRS toe. Hellboy does have it. Is it gaining close enough to Amandale? He's gonna center the car. Oh! Harrison is out of the race. Did you see that collision? Wow, if that's not a safety car, I don't know what is. It just got even more interesting. It just got super interesting. So no safety car from that. Harrison has left the session. I think he's a little annoyed with that one. So back to racing. Hellboy gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Sector 3 yellow. What has happened here? What kind of camera angle was that? I've never seen that one yet. That was interesting. I think Jamie's has a lot. Does he have damage on that front wing? Yes, he does. He's missing the end plate. I wonder how much damage she's actually carrying on the car itself. I'm not sure. Jamie's gonna pull into the pits. Keep an eye on it. Stig finds himself up to P3. Doesn't have a time penalty to his name, but he does get around help a 0. Tomo's right there as well. Jamie is retired from the race. He's had enough, so he's gonna back out and retire that McLaren. So both McLarens having a terrible evening this evening. Hopefully their luck turns around. Have to keep an eye. Well, one thing I want to point out, except for Tier 3, these drivers, this league has a break next week, so you won't see a race from these guys. Just have to take a look. And see where we're at in 2 weeks' time, as everybody's getting really punchy here. Oh, what is... That's getting interesting. Seal overtakes. There we have DRS as well. What's going to happen here? Oh boy, oh boy. These guys have the shoulders out. Seal gets himself a 3-second time penalty. He is closing in on 0. Bit of contact. Will 0 hold position? Oh man, these guys are really going after it. Let's take a board with Tomo just for a bit. Keep an eye on where we are. Croce, oh no. Ah, okay. I know exactly where we're at in 2 weeks' time for these guys in Tier 1. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be right back. I do apologize. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back. Keep an eye on some of these guys fighting. Tomo makes himself up to P5. We have Stig in P6, Lord Bumbledore P7. Could he get a good run from this evening? Finish up on the board. Eke chasing down Amundale. Seal finds himself in P3. Zero and Bumbledore get himself a 3-second time penalty. I'm not even going to look at the penalties at this point. I don't know what they're up to. They're lap 28 out of 35. Still a lot could happen. Stig, oh! Stig has gone wide. That's put Bumbledore up to P6. Hellboy has found himself down to P7. Jamie has left the session. McLaren driver, unfortunately, ending in a DNF this evening. Keep on board with these guys. Eke looking mighty clean this evening. No penalty to his name. Car looks nice and clean. Can he get a run here on Amundale just ahead and then Aston Martin and take the lead of this Grand Prix? Could be a boost in his championship points this evening with Harrison being knocked out. Eke takes the lead in that Alpine. Who's going to end up on the podium this evening? That is the question. Zero finds himself on the podium. I have no idea where these guys are going to finish. Oh, side by side with the Haas and the Ferrari. Oh, Bumbledore has lost control of the Red Bull and slapped into the wall. He's going to have to pit the car. And he's going to fall down the order quite quickly from this. At least sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:11.1. Amundale gets another time penalty, so that's not going to help him. Chasing Eke for the lead of this race, as we're lap 29 out of 35. I have no idea who's going to end up on the podium at this point. Two Ferraris are looking, they could be a big boost for Ferrari this evening, actually. Zio gets closer to that Haas ahead. Right on board, can he get a good exit? DRS is his. And he's not going to be close enough to make a move, though, on Tomo in P3. Amundale still sticking behind Eke here in P1 and P2. Is he gonna have a switch and take the lead on this lap compared to Eke ahead? See if he can stay right behind that Alpine. Eke is looking mighty quick this evening. Keep an eye on the rest of the field too. We do have a battle with Smith and Stig for P6 on the grid. There's that camera angle. I haven't seen that one yet. Amundale has DRS. Is he going to close in Eke? He's not going to close quick enough. No room for a move there. Holds just behind. DRS is going to be his again, though. Is he going to go for a look on into turn one? Nope, he is going to stay right in P2. I think P2 following Eke's toes. Try to get out of Tomo's gap. Try to hope for a podium. Might be his best bet. Let's take a look at the penalties. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it now. Actually, interval and penalties. 9 seconds is Amundale. So he's going to fall down the order quite a bit. We have Tomo now on 6 seconds. We have Hellboy on 3. Zero's on 6. Smith is on 6. Stig, Cressy, and Elise are on 12, and Lord Bumbledore is on 9. So Eke, the only driver so far in this race not to have a time penalty to his name. Take a look at tires. They're all on medium compounds, except for Elise and Lord Bumbledore. Look at the gap these guys are building between themselves and Tomo, as well as Hellboy chasing him. Hellboy closing in on that Haas. A little off the pace when it came to the Wall of Champions, but that's kind of how I do it. I try to take it as easy as possible. Amandale did get around Eke for the lead of the race. I did miss that. Eke finds himself in P2 again. These two having quite a nice battle going on between each other, but I think Eke kind of ultimately knows he can keep it clean. This is his race. Everybody else has a time penalty to their name. Lord Bumbledore, as I say that, gets another 3-second time penalty to his name. He was running so good and had just had a snap of oversteer, put his car into the wall, and ultimately had to pit for a new compound. Okay, will he have a run on Amandale this time around? I don't think he's close enough. He's 6/10. You typically want to be within 3 to 4 tenths to have a move. He's just going to tuck behind him here. The gap between these two is building from them to Tomo. Tomo is 5.8, and that gap is climbing. That boy staying right behind the toe of Tomo just ahead. Lap 33 now. Hellboy getting closer and closer. DRS is his, but it's a pretty difficult area to make a pass, so he's just going to tuck in behind. Try to keep that gap between himself and Tomo down so he can try to have a move on the backstretch. Smith is closing in 0 now as we speak. 0 had, I wonder if he has some kind of damage to that Ferrari. Take on board with Tomo as Hellboy pulls in that DRS. Gaining closer and closer. Is he going to go for a move? He backs out of it. The pace that Tomo has through the Wall of Champions is it's pretty lightning. I think Hellboy is actually trying to struggle with that. If he wants to make a move, he's going to have to do it before those 2 turns. Okay, he's just slotting in the P6 or P2, keeping it quiet. I think he's gonna ride this one out. Penultimate lap of this race, ladies and gentlemen. What a interesting race it has been for sure. Sector 2, yellow 0's out of the race. Oh, Cressy loses control of his car as well. That, I wonder if these mediums are starting to go that quickly. Zero's car is right there. That is unfortunate for Zero. His race back after being off last week. Unfortunately, retires early. He will get the points though for P10. He did make the final 5 laps of the race. One of the rules here at SF1. Okay, I think he's gonna put Amandale under a little bit of pressure for this last lap. Why not? Let's race. Tomo sitting P3. Question is, between these two, who's going to come out on the final podium spot? Eke actually closed the DRS on Amandale. That was interesting. I did catch that. Hopefully you guys caught that. Keep an eye on Hellboy and Tomo. Not going to look at penalties at this point on. I'm going to see where everybody kind of falls in order. We know this man's going to pick up the win as you see Amandale pull over. Stay gets himself another time penalty. Amandale is going to try to hold right behind and grab P2 if he can stay. Time penalties are going to be big this time around. As Eke is going to grab the win here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Amadeo, so far P2. Will that stay? A lot of guys getting time penalties at the end of this race. Tomo, will he stay there? No, Hellboy does grab P3. Tomo drops the P4. Smith P5. Currently, let's see if that stands. Cressy, I know a lot of these guys have time penalties towards the end. Cressy moves to P6. Let's see where Stig and at least fall under. Stig doesn't have a front wing. At least goes to P7. Stig P8. And Lord Bumbledore finishes his race in P9. Zero has left the session. That was an interesting one to watch, Croce. Driver of the day is going to go to Hellboy. I'm going to have to say, though, with my vote, if I'm going to give a game vote or outweigh the vote of the game, this man right here grabbed the win. Eke is going to be my driver of the day. Only driver on the grid not to get a time penalty. And drove the wheels off that car and crossed the line in P1. Alright, we'll give you guys a rundown of the finishing order here. Eke grabs the win at the Canadian Grand Prix with Amadeo and Hellboy rounding out the podium. Tomo finishes P4. We have Smith 5th, Cressy is 6th, Elise 7th, Stig 8th, Lord Dumbledore finishes 9th, and the people that sadly DNF from this race, we have Zero, Seal, Jamie Harrison, Sweat Palm, and who was the last one? Let me jump down through. It was IRL Mats. So that's gonna do it. We're gonna get these guys in for a podium interview. Just a tick. Let's get this over here. Right. Let me unmute myself for a second. Eke is here. Let's see if the other two guys show up.
Unlikely, probably.
All right, so we're gonna kick it. I think this guy's usually I know it's really late in France, so we're just gonna run with it. Eke, what a race that was from yourself. Full wets to intermediates to dry compounds. A lot going on. The only man not to pick up a time penalty this evening. So I, outruled the game and said my driver of the day is definitely Eke. But grabbing a win here at Canadian Grand Prix, making that charge towards the front of those guys ahead of you on points. Give us a rundown of your race and solid congratulations from yourself.
Yeah, the full wet part of the race, it was pretty chill. There was really nothing going on, just keep it on the track. And then the safety car came out and we were in party talking if we should pit for the inters lap before we did, and we didn't, so then we lost out with the inters. And the interesting for me was just awful, to be fair.
I feel like a lot of guys struggled more on the inters than they did on the full wets for sure.
Yeah, and then with the dries, on the dry side, I felt like I had the pace again, and just, if I'm honest, I don't really feel like I deserved the win. Well, Harrison kind of got caught up in the Jamie crashing out, so just doesn't really feel like a proper win to me.
Sometimes that's all it takes, though. I mean, a little bit of luck that swings your way. Hey, you finished P1.
Yeah, there was a few moments where I just had to avoid those cars that others couldn't avoid. Just got those last second chances to move out of the way. I guess luck was on my side today.
Yes, it was. All right, so 2 weeks' time, we're going to be at the French Grand Prix. Are you looking forward to that race?
Well, much more than to this track, at least.
Finally getting away from these street circuits for a bit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, but that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. One final congrats to the podium guys. Hellboy in P3, Amadeo P2, and yourself, Eke, grabbing the win this evening.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see you guys. I mentioned 2 weeks' time, we'll be at the French Grand Prix. Make sure you tune in for Circuit Paul Ricard. We'll catch you then. SF1 Roads will be there streaming. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. If you do want to tune in, we do have a makeup race for Tier 3 on Thursday. They have to redo Spain because Spain was absolutely interesting and diabolical lobby-wise for those guys, so they're going to make it up this Thursday. But until then, I'm going to catch you guys 2 weeks' time. One final congrats, Eke. You guys had an amazing and interesting race, but we're going to sign out. We will see you later.